Well, let's just get into the forecast, because there just isn't much to say. It continues to be a quiet one across our area, as we've got this jet stream that's essentially moving from west to east over the next couple of days. And what that's going to allow to happen is allowing more of those warmer temperatures back into our region with above normal temperatures by midweek. And so by midweek, that jet stream pushing to the northeast and allowing some of that warmer air into our area. But then as we get a little bit later on in the week, we've got just this weak little disturbance that slings through the far northern reaches of our region and going to be cooling down the temperatures just a bit, mainly across the north. As you can see, that jet stream just dips a little bit, whereas before it was kind of in this motion. Now, as we get later in the week, it dips just a little bit. So some of you areas in the north and east will be just a little bit cooler by the end of the week. But also notice what else happens as we back this up. We've got this system that comes on ashore across the far southwestern parts of the United States. This guy dips down and then really strengthens, and the jet really begins to take off. We really get some strong upper level winds as we get into the middle part of next week. And so by midweek and then going on into the weekend next weekend, we're looking at a few days of some severe weather across the south. And in fact, as we go into the weekend, look at how that jet really, really ramps up and gets even stronger as we get into the weekend. So yeah, it's a potent little system developing, but most of that energy staying to the south. The only hope we might have is that it might just bulge enough into the southeastern parts of Minnesota to allow some precipitation into that region. And that's going to be more so as we get into Saturday night and into Sunday. As you can see, that rain kind of changing over to snow mainly across southeastern parts of Minnesota, perhaps pushing and lingering a little bit into the Arrowhead region as well throughout the day on Sunday as that system continues to wrap up and push to the north and east. Otherwise, the only other couple chances we have for snow throughout the week is going to be Tuesday, as we got just that bit of a warm front that pushes eastward as that ridge kind of bulges through the area, and that differential heating, of course, is going to be causing some lift, and that's going to be creating some snow across the Arrowhead region, but not a lot of it. It's going to be quick. It's going to be fairly light, so we're not really expecting a whole lot. And then on the back side of this system, again, as that trough kind of digs in, and again, as I said before, we've got some cooling temperatures across the north. There's the associated cold front that kind of drops south along with it. So as we get into Thursday and Thursday afternoon and into Thursday evening, we might have some snow showers across the northern reaches of our area. But again, it's going to be sporadic. It's going to be light. It's really not going to add up to a whole lot. In fact, taking a look at the models, I mean, we're looking at an inch or less. Most areas getting maybe a half inch at most with this little disturbance throughout midweek. And then if this little storm does make its way into southeastern parts of Minnesota Saturday night into Sunday, I mean, there's a possibility we could be getting 3 to 4 inches down there by the time we get through the day on Sunday, perhaps as much as 5 to 6 even, if it hits right. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on as we get closer to the weekend, is just how much snow exactly will fall down here in the far southeastern parts of Minnesota. And I guess the only other thing to really mention is that during the daytime hours, it's going to be a little breezy. Now, not necessarily really strong and windy. I'm just talking breezy, where we got gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour. Maybe the occasional 35 miles per hour. There is Tuesday. Of course, it dies down during the day on Tuesday night. Wednesday, not looking too bad. As you get into Thursday, again, a little bit more gusty, where we're looking at gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour across the region. And then Thursday night kind of dies off a little bit. Friday, not too bad. Saturday, perhaps a little breezier again across Minnesota particularly. And then perhaps leading into Sunday across the western Dakotas could gust up just a little bit more. But yeah, that El Nino pattern is sure going to be taking hold and keeping most of the energy, most of the fun further to the south throughout the foreseeable future. El Nino, am I right? In fact, if we really extend ourselves out there beyond Sunday and take a look, we might have a little weak disturbance coming Monday out of Canada. But by gosh, there just really isn't any big snowmakers on the way. And while we have little brief warm-ups here and there, and then some cold shots, and maybe a little bit of a warm-up again, and then another shot of cold air, ultimately, the thing that's really going to help us is there's no snow on the ground, so the temperatures naturally will just be above average for this time of year. So let's just step through our temperature forecast here through the week. So Tuesday morning, those lows are going to be starting off kind of cold, of course, in the east with single digits, perhaps a few here and there getting below zero. And then as you get further to the west, those low temperatures Tuesday morning are going to be in the 20s. And of course, with that cold start to the day, the high's not going to be getting above freezing across Minnesota. But boy, when you get to west of Minnesota, ultimately, we're looking at those highs in the 30s and 40s for Tuesday already. And those morning lows for Wednesday morning, not looking as bad in the east. Generally across the region, we're looking at morning lows Wednesday morning in the teens to 20s. And then look at those Wednesday high temperatures. Pretty much everybody, save for the far northeastern parts of Minnesota, are going to get above freezing. Otherwise, as you get further down to the south and west, we get into the mid 40s to possibly around 50 degrees. Thursday morning lows generally in the mid teens to low 20s. And then, of course, Thursday, as we have that little sag in the jet stream that I showed you earlier, those high temperatures are going to be struggling just a bit to get above freezing across the north. As you get further south, we're looking at those highs getting to near 40 degrees. Friday mornings, lows generally in the teens across the region. Friday highs about the same as Thursday, going to be struggling to get above freezing across the north, getting to near 40 across the far south. Saturday morning lows back into the teens, and Saturday high temperatures rebound a little bit, save for some of you areas across the far north. Everybody else going to be getting above freezing with some high temperatures reaching the mid to upper 40s down in the southwest. And then right now for Sunday morning, we're looking at those lows starting off generally in the 20s. And then those high temperatures Sunday, it's going to be close to freezing across the north. And the only other area I think we're going to have to watch to see what exactly happens is going to be that area down in the southeastern parts of Minnesota. I don't think those temperatures are going to be quite as high if the model turns out the way they're showing right now, because at this point the weather service is saying 40 degrees. But if that system does come through, obviously, those temperatures are going to be a little cooler. So kind of hard to give a good forecast when there just really isn't much to talk about other than the potential of a storm across southeastern parts of Minnesota going in Sunday. But that's a ways out, and we're going to see what's going to happen there. I'm not saying for sure that's going to happen. I'm just saying that's really our only chance for something substantial, something to watch out for in the future. And then otherwise, we just got some gustier winds on every other day and some roller coaster type of temperatures. But gosh, that's about it for us right now. And that's what we're going to have to live with. Not too bad of a winter if you're not wanting a white Christmas right now. Again, not looking very white for most areas. So, and that doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. So with that, we'll just sign off and say for Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner, and everybody have a good day.